Okay, this one is going to be a different type of human design video. And I don't have anything written for this one, so book is closed shut. So I think to start, I should explain what got me looking into human design and also what made me not want to do even look into human design. So my first stint of trying to go through human design was back, I believe, in late 2021, early 2022. And I met someone that was actually in human design and all that, and was a similar projector to me. But all the stuff that was thrown my direction was about this deconditioning from being projected onto you being a generator. And as I went down that rabbit hole, I'm like, no, that wasn't how I was conditioned at all. I was conditioned to be a manifester. And so none of this was making sense to me, and it just got really, really frustrating. But then as my relationship continued to crumble, which it should have crumbled a long time ago, and it was more keeping damage control because my ex was very self-destructive, and I was worried I was going to be on the hook for all this crap. And so that kept me in the relationship way too long and did everything to the distrust and the cheating. But it's like I've learned that's unfortunately the aggregate in gay men that I've come across. It's like they don't love themselves and they're trying to fit in, and everything's about the sexuality side of that and not the other things of being, I don't know, a multidimensional human being. And so it's made it hard for me to navigate because it's like I see things in energy, and there needs to be substance under that. It's like, that's why I don't, if someone's flexing and showing their body like that they're perfectly fit, it is the biggest turnoff in the face of the world, unless you're doing something practical for it. So those show punny gym people, just stop for me. It's like, I don't want to see it. I'm going to put that boundary here, there, and now. Okay, back to human design. So the inquiry for me again was, why is nothing working in my life? And there's a couple takeaways from that. My human design profile is a 3-5, martyr heretic. I was not living it correctly. That's the first problem. I was afraid of making mistakes. I was taught not to make mistakes, and how I learn and how I integrate, I need to make all the mistakes, but then also use those to get to success. So I haven't had success because I haven't done the right kind of mistakes that were going to lead up to it. That's the first piece. The second piece was I didn't have invitation. I wasn't using my splenic authority. And so everything was crumbling. And I was in not self a lot, bitterness, because I was in places. And unfortunately, I'm usually the smartest person in the room in all my workplaces. And I get ire for that because they do not want someone who's going to see everything, see the shadow, see the unknown, see the agenda, see how all the systems come together and provide solutions. They didn't want that in any of those positions. My last one in Oregon did, but it was such a toxic external environment. It's like that kind of negated everything. It was like one of those, something can be so perfect, but also so wrong at the same time. And I broke down, and I was so focused on trying to get a friend network and connections because after the COVID era, it was extremely isolating. And then I learned, it's like, and now that I see the shadow, it's been really hard for me to even connect with people because I can see their agendas, and it's usually not coming from a intentional, voluntaristic, let's come with the meeting of the minds and the spirits, kind of thing. It's usually, what are they going to take from me? How can they manipulate me? It's like, and I see that. It's like, and even some of my acquaintances that are a little more distant, there was that same thing. But I have to step back and recognize that a lot of these people don't know themselves. And I'm lucky. It's like I never had that inquiry. Who am I? What am I? It's like that's just been assumed in my world. So, and in my human design, that part's defined. So that's why I've never questioned it. And I just am. And that's enough. And why I never really had the concept of community and fitting in just never really resonated with me either. I'm like, that seems so arbitrary and forced and contrived. And when you're in this energetic thing and holding space, it's like destructive people will come your way. It's like because then you go I Ching. It's a balance of forces, yin and yang. And it's like, but and this point in my life, I don't want the extreme yang to the yin. It's like, so it makes it's like I've had to play into what a projector needs to be most comfortable with regardless of their profile. Being comfortable with time alone and no supports. And it's like that's been the route that I've played. And then just see the algorithms on TikTok about how people are it's like saying I'm single, either projecting that they're happy when they're not, just to try to, it's more of an FU to all that, or the others that are truly lonely and just putting that energy out there. And it's just, and even with me, it's like in some instances I judge those that are fake, but I also have to step back and be like, maybe they don't know themselves. They don't know who they are. They don't have a defined G center to say, to not question who they are, you know, and they may have undefined head ajna, but they have an undefined ego, but not a solar plexus. And so those things kind of interplay, that they're confusing things that they're picking up from others as theirs. And so there's that piece as well. And that's something I've had to step back at times, because my protector side of myself, protector of my energy, just wants to keep all that at arm's length. So it makes it hard for the connection, but in a sense it makes it the opportunity. It's like I can now wait for invitations, and then I can listen to my splenic authority to decide whether I want to take said invitation or not. And usually it says no. Now that I'm listening, there's a lot of no's. And it's like, and it's even overall reduced my hypervigilancy, because now I understand what the spleen's doing, and in certain environments, what environments I shouldn't be around. And then even where it's like my energetics get overwhelmed because I don't have a defined ego or solar plexus. So everything that's coming into me is not my emotion. I have to then work and ground that to then get to my emotions. And then the first set of emotions is my emotional ego response to what was sticking to me. And then I can get to my emotions. So it's like a 3-step process in that regard. But yeah, it's like if we all use the tools that work for us. So, I mean, if you're living your perfect life, you may not need to look at human design. But if things are not working, I would invite you to look up free human design. Just find one that works. And A Human Design's pretty good. Reiki Marco has a good one that gives good information. Richard Beaumont's. Just a couple of examples I can think of off the top of my head, and see where that is, and just see where it lands, and then start looking at gates. I would say look at the gates that are your cross, like I'm the right cross of Maya. Start looking from that and seeing what those mean. Also looking at gates that are activated, but it's not a defined body center. It's like, because that's going to be some things you pick up on especially like you're going to have a microphone for those things, and in that body center that's not yours, and those are tools. So just look at this as a tool, because nothing's an absolute, but anything that can help, I recommend it. So I'm going to leave it there because I've got a lot more to do and a chiropractor appointment. But if you want to add anything to the conversation, start a conversation on it, feel free, because the reason I'm doing this is trying to link people together. It's like, it's seemingly less about me at this point, but it's like I'm being led to share parables about myself and my experience with it, just to give this a grounded context of the journey and why I'm posting all these human design videos. So feel free to post anything as you see fit, and thank you for watching.